Hello everyone, today's subject is Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan is a very beautiful country. This is surrounded by Jeenbekov, the president of Kyrgyzstan. This is the Kyrgyz flag, the Kyrgyz yurt on the top, the sun. This is the Kyrgyz political map, and Kyrgyzstan on world map. As you can see, it's a very small country. Kyrgyzstan became independent country on 31st August 1991, even before the collapse of Soviet Union. Then the country became a member of the United Nations in 1992, World Trade Organizations in 1998. It formed Shanghai 5 in 1996 and became a member of Eurasian Economic Community in 2000, which turned into Eurasian Economic Union in 2014, and Kyrgyzstan became a member of Eurasian Economic Union in 2015. The population of Kyrgyzstan is 5.5 million almost. The capital city is Bishkek. The main cities Bishkek, Osh, Talas, Karakol, Jalalabad. The significant economic sectors are agriculture, textile, processing, and the mining. The GDP of Kyrgyzstan is 8.35 billion US dollars, and the GDP per capita is 1,145, which is very low, as you can see, guys. Kyrgyzstan is 90% a mountainous country, guys. 90% of Kyrgyzstan is formed by mountains, and the highest point is Cengiz Çokusu is Peak Pobedi, 7,439 meters, very high. The Kyrgyz is believed to have been derived from the Turkic word for 40. Kırk, which is of course in reference to the 40 clans of Manas, a legendary hero who united 40 regional clans against the Uyghurs. The formerly known as the Kara Kyrgyz, to distinguish them from the Kazakhs, because at one time Soviet Union called Kazakh as Kyrgyz. The Kyrgyz migrated to Kyrgyzstan from the region of the Upper Yenisei, where they had lived from 7th century to 17th century. Genghis Khan and the empire of Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire successors, they controlled these territory in Central Asia from 13th century to 15th century. At that time, of course, the Kyrgyz developed a Turkic dialect. The family and tribe became the basis of social organizations within the community. After that, the Jungarian Oryats, another Mongol group, came and took the control in Kyrgyz territory in 17th century, until the region was invaded by Chinese Manchus in 1750. The Chinese control and the influence remained dominant until the rise in the power of the Kokand Khanate during the 1830s. Around this time, another significant factor became so powerful force, which is Islam. Became a very powerful force within the Kyrgyz territory and shaped the modern Kyrgyz culture. The area came under the rule of Kokand Khanate in 19th century, as I said, but of course gradually over the years the area annexed by Russian Empire between 1855 to 1876. The Russian Empire invaded all the Central Asian region within this period anyway. The nomadic Kyrgyz resisted into the Tsarist army in 1916 and fought against the establishment of Bolshevik control from 1917 to 1921. But as a result of war devastation, there was a famine in 1921, and because of this famine, unfortunately, 500,000 Kyrgyz people died. What else? The area was formed into Kara Kyrgyz autonomous regions after the Soviet Union and became a republic in 1924. and became an autonomous republic in 1926. In 1990, Askar Akayev was elected as a president, and after fighting of an attempted coup in 1991, Askar Akayev government declared Kyrgyzstan independent of the Soviet Union. When we look at Kyrgyzstan in terms of export and imports, we see exports as precious metals, golds, electric power, agricultural goods, electric appliance, and textile. In terms of import, we see fuel and energy resources, equipment, chemicals, consumer goods, and transport means. These are the exporting countries, as you can see. Russia, of course. There's China, Kazakhstan, United Arabic Emirates. These are the importing partners. Of course, Russia, Kazakhstan are on the top, and China come after that countries. When we analyze Kyrgyzstan in terms of cultural traditions, there are three important subjects: food and clothes. Food is a significant part of Kyrgyz culture and history. As you know, that the country was a part of Silk Road that went across Europe, Asia, Africa, and India. So because of these mix of European, Russian, Indian, Asian, and Chinese influence, the Kyrgyz cuisine become quite rich, but most of the dishes found in Kyrgyzstan reflect the dominance of Islam in the country by being made with halal meat. When we look at the traditional dress, also this traditional dress reflects the strong sense of lifestyle of Kyrgyz population. The clothes were also designed to suit the nomadic lifestyle of Kyrgyz people. Kyrgyzstan is very famous with tourism, the different type of tourism. There are trekking tours by walk or by horse, as you can see, horseback tours it is called. And also, as I said, Kazakhstan was in the Silk Road, still is in the Silk Road, and the cultural tours take an important economic input of Kyrgyzstan. This is Burana Tower, as you can see, the capital city of Balasagun, which the Karahanlı Turkish state controlled area, and this is the place when the Karahanlı Turkish state accept Islam as a religion, guys. This is traditional housing in Kyrgyzstan. It is called a yurt or tunduk. These houses were used by the nomadic people. They are easily movable, like a tent. And of course, it reflects the traditional Kyrgyz people who moved around with these youths in search of grazing land for their livestock. These houses are warm in winter and they are cool in summer. Here, this is the top of the Kyrgyz house. It's called yurt. You can easily know what the time is by looking at this area. When we talk about Kyrgyzstan, of course, we have to talk about Manas, the epic Manas. The epic is based on the story of famous Kyrgyz hero named Manas and his 7 generations of descendants who led their people in fighting bravely against cruel rulers from other races. And of course, eventually they won their freedom. The Kyrgyz epic Manas is born out of the heroic efforts of Kyrgyz tribal lords in successfully fight the Khitans and destroy their capital of Betin. It's a very significant Turkish epic. I suggest you guys to read it. Reciting Manas in Kyrgyzstan, not only in Kyrgyzstan but all the Turkish countries, very important, and it needs a kind of special talents. Everyone doesn't easily recite Manas, as I saw that with my eyes. In conclusion, Kyrgyzstan today is one of the states that finds itself in the center of geostrategic competition among the great powers. Who are these great powers? United States of America, Russia, and China. The relatively weak military and internal economic system, plus the frequent periods of political instability, have placed the country in a dependent position toward the great powers. In addition to the US and Russia, we have to take another country into considerations, and we have to mention China and Chinese economic expansionism in the region. Thank you very much for listening to me, guys. Please check our Muğla Sıtkı Koçman University distance learning education system and find the necessary documents about the Central Asian, the course called Central Asian Studies in that. Next week we have a new topic, Uzbekistan, and until next week, look after yourself very well, guys, and see you soon.